Big week for Idaho Governor Brad Little. Today is the rollout for Little's new signature program, Idaho LAUNCH. So I guess that makes it launch day. For years, we've heard Little and other Idaho leaders talk about the go-on rate of Gem State high school students. And I want to take a look at this. At last check, 2022, Idaho had 42%, or 8,459 out of 20,253 students from the graduating senior class of 2022. Only 42% enrolled in post-secondary education in the fall, immediately after graduation. So 58%, or close to 12,000 students, they did not enroll. And the go-on rate has fallen over the years. It was about 50% in 2017, 54% if you look all the way back to 2012. Less people going on means that less people are working to get certified to fill the valuable openings across Idaho. And in recent years, and COVID really pushed this, the career market in Idaho has seen interest slim out. But there's a lot of jobs, and there are major in-demand careers that Idaho needs to fill. In fact, the governor's office has a list of major fields and the amount of openings annually in Idaho. Carpenters, electricians, nurses, roofers, teachers, you name it. As you'll see here, there are thousands and thousands of jobs out there. But getting qualified for those jobs can be challenging financially, talking about paying for school. So in an effort to solve the workforce question, Governor Little had the idea to help Idahoans pay for school. Today, the program, Idaho LAUNCH, officially kicked off, and the Idaho LAUNCH program will offer a one-time opportunity for eligible students to receive 80% off their tuition and fees. Now, the application portal is open today, and the grants will provide a maximum of $8,000 per student. I asked Little about the launch, the concept, and what success looks like to him. I know there's $80 million out there for the program. What happens if it's all used?
Well, that's a great thing. If it's all used. If we've got capacity and it's all used and they go on, but with the Opportunity Scholarship money and Launch, there's $100 million to help our Idaho kids go on. And the cost of education is just so much more expensive. And, you know, we don't want our Idaho kids packing debt. You know, they still have to put some skin in the game, but we got it. It's going to be almost on the same relative affordability as it was when I went to school. And it's just gotten more and more expensive. The intent of just making it to where our Idaho kids can stay in Idaho and have good careers, we're all the way there. And you know, my issue is I want those kids to be masters of their own destiny, and having that kind of an opportunity. You know, some kids that have been good students and they've got parents that help them and they get scholarships. They get to be masters of their own destiny, but we are going to broadly increase the number of students that are going to be masters of their own destiny when this gets in place.
When you talk about the in-demand careers, I have the list here that the Workforce Development Council put together. I mean, there's not like 5 or 10 careers here. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of jobs. To folks that are learning about the program, and really high school students that are going to enroll in it, how would you explain to them the depth of careers that are part of in-demand?
We know the #1 area is healthcare. Nurse practitioners, nurses, CNAs, physician's assistants, pharmacy techs. That's going to be, and that's all over the state of Idaho. In the Magic Valley, food processing. Up here, a lot of those jobs are going to be relative to the expansion that Micron's going to take place. They absolutely have to have a technical workforce that understands the very sophisticated equipment that's going to be in that world-class facility.
And we've heard from critics of the program since its inception, and the big S word they like to use, that this is socialism. When you hear that, what's your reaction?
Well, you could argue that a K-12 education is socialism. You could argue that our traditional higher education, we've always paid part of the cost for journalists, for animal scientists, for doctors, for lawyers. Why do they feel that helping plumbers and welders and food processing technicians, automobile technicians, why that's not socialism?
When you think into the distance of this program, what does success look like to you?
just more of our kids going on. It'll just raise the level of attainment, the level of career satisfaction, because my goal from the very get-go when I applied for this job was that I want our kids to stay in Idaho, to choose to stay in Idaho. This is going to go a long way towards doing that.
What are you most anticipating to hear about tomorrow?
Well, I hope what I hear is from parents and students, this gives us hope that we didn't have before. This gives us that opportunity for us to be masters of our own destiny. And we want those kids to choose a field that is going to give them self-satisfaction, that's going to create an opportunity for them to stay here, raise their families here, and comfortably retire right here in the Gem State.
All right, well, we've talked about this for months. So how do you actually apply for it? Well, this is the website, nextsteps.idaho.gov/launch. I will link to it at ktvb.com. And when you come to this page here, you're going to find some information, in-demand careers list. You can see the browse career cards. You'll click on that big blue button, and it'll launch you right into the apply right there. You're going to have to fill out a little bit of paperwork and get that done. But if you have questions, I know that there will likely be some. There could be some common issues. Traditionally, the governor's office or the state will put out a message if there's any issues that people are running into. We haven't heard any reports of that so far, so let us know how it goes for you and your family.